Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn English with Stories. Here you'll improve your English through simple, meaningful, and fun stories. So relax, listen, and let's learn together. In a quiet town surrounded by gentle hills and soft morning light, there lived a young boy named Oliver. His life was simple, calm, and often very silent. He was not the kind of child who ran loudly through the streets or shouted with excitement. Instead, he liked quiet moments, soft sounds, and peaceful places. Every morning, Oliver woke up before the sun fully rose. He liked watching the sky slowly change colors, from dark blue to soft orange. He would sit near his window and listen to the birds, the wind, and the distant sound of the town waking up. In his small room, there was one thing he loved more than anything else: his bookshelf. The shelf was old and a little broken. Some books were too big. Some were too small. Some had missing pages. But to Oliver, every book was special. Books were not just paper and ink. They were doors. When he opened a book, he did not stay in his room. He traveled to faraway places. He walked through forests. He crossed oceans. He climbed mountains. He met brave heroes, kind strangers, and lost travelers. Most of all, books helped him feel less alone. Oliver did not have many friends. He was shy. He often felt nervous around people. His words sometimes disappeared when he wanted to speak. His heart beat too fast, and his hands felt cold. But when he read, his fear became quiet. And when he started learning English, stories became even more important. At first, English felt strange. The words were unfamiliar. The sounds were confusing. Some sentences felt too long. Some meanings felt hidden. There were days when Oliver felt tired. There were days when he wanted to stop. But something inside him kept going. Every day he read a little. Just one page, just one paragraph, just one new word. Slowly, the strange language became a little friendlier. Words started to make sense. Sentences started to feel clearer. Stories started to feel alive. Oliver noticed something special. When he learned English through stories, it did not feel like studying. It felt like traveling. One evening, as the sky turned pink and purple, Oliver sat by his window with a small English book. The story was simple, but the words felt warm and meaningful. He reached the last page. At the bottom, there was a sentence written in gold. "Stories are doors. If you open them, they can change your life." Oliver read it again and again. He did not fully understand it, but he felt it. That night, something unusual happened. When Oliver fell asleep, he felt lighter than usual. His body seemed to float as if he were made of air. His dreams felt deeper, softer, and more colorful. He saw lights, soft lights, golden lights. They moved slowly around him like fireflies. Then the world changed. Oliver was no longer in his room. He was standing in a wide open space filled with floating books. Thousands of them. They glowed gently. Some were small. Some were huge. Some were closed. Some were open. The sky above him was not normal. It was painted with deep blues, soft purples, and gentle stars. The air felt warm and safe. Oliver felt calm. A presence surrounded him, gentle and quiet, like a breeze. This place did not feel scary. It felt like home. He did not know how long he stood there. Time felt different. Slow, soft. Then the light moved. One book slowly floated toward him. It was larger than the others and brighter, too. Its cover was deep blue, and its edges glowed gold. As Oliver reached for it, a warm feeling filled his chest. The moment his fingers touched the book, the world shifted. The light became stronger, the colors became deeper, and suddenly he was no longer floating. He was standing on soft green grass. A gentle wind touched his face. The sky above him was clear and bright. Birds flew peacefully in the distance. Oliver looked around. In front of him there was a small village. It was peaceful, simple, warm. Houses were made of wood and stone. Flowers grew near the windows. The air smelled fresh and clean. Everything felt alive. But something was different. Oliver felt connected to this place. Not like a visitor, but like someone who belonged. As he walked through the village, he noticed something surprising. Every sign, every word, every sound. They were all in English. And he understood them, naturally, without thinking, without translating. It felt easy. It felt normal. His heart beat softly. His mind felt clear. His fear was gone. Oliver realized that he was not just reading a story. He was inside one. As he walked further, he felt emotions he had never felt before. Courage, curiosity, peace. He learned new words without trying. He learned new feelings without fear. He learned that stories were not just lessons, they were experiences. Time passed gently. When the sky began to change color again, the glowing blue book appeared in front of him. It slowly opened. Light poured out. And once again, the world moved. Oliver felt himself floating. The sounds faded. The colors softened. And then he woke up. He was back in his bed. His room was quiet. The morning sun touched his wall. Everything looked normal, but his heart felt different. Lighter, warmer. He sat up slowly. Then he saw it. On his desk, there was something new. A small, glowing bookmark. On it, there was only one word. Begin. From that day on, Oliver's life was no longer the same. Every night when he slept, he entered a new world, a new story, a new lesson. And every morning he woke up with more understanding, more confidence, more courage. Stories were no longer just books. They were teachers. They were guides. They were doors. And Oliver was finally learning how to open them. Oliver began to notice changes in himself after that first journey. His days felt lighter. His thoughts felt clearer. Even the quiet moments no longer felt empty. They felt full of meaning. That night, Oliver felt different before he even fell asleep. His thoughts were calm, but his heart felt deep. It was not heavy. It was full. When the golden light returned, it was softer than before. It wrapped around him slowly, like a warm blanket. His body became light, and his mind became quiet. Then, the world changed again. Oliver found himself standing near a wide river. The water was clear and glowing. It did not move fast. It flowed gently, like a slow breath. The sky above was filled with soft colors, mixing blue, pink, and silver. This place felt peaceful, but it also felt powerful. As Oliver walked closer to the river, he noticed something strange. Inside the water, he could see moments. Not reflections, not shadows, but memories. He saw himself as a small child, holding his first book. He saw himself struggling with new English words. He saw himself feeling shy, afraid, and unsure. Then he saw himself growing, reading, learning, trying again, standing up, believing. Each moment flowed gently in the water. Oliver realized that this river was not made of water. It was made of time. Every step he had taken, every mistake, every effort, every small victory. The river showed him that learning was not a straight line. It was a journey, sometimes slow, sometimes confusing, sometimes beautiful. Oliver walked along the riverbank. As he walked, he felt emotions rising inside him. Gratitude, understanding, peace. He understood something important. He did not need to be perfect. He only needed to continue. The river did not rush. It flowed, and that was enough. Oliver sat near the water and watched. Moments of the future appeared too. He saw himself reading with confidence. He saw himself understanding stories easily. He saw himself helping others learn. These moments were not promises. They were possibilities. And possibilities were powerful. Oliver felt warmth spread through his chest. He finally understood what stories were teaching him. Stories were not only about language, they were about life. They taught patience. They taught courage. They taught hope. The glowing blue book appeared again, but this time it did not pull him away quickly. It floated gently beside him. Oliver felt no fear, no confusion, only calm. He knew it was time to return. The river shimmered one last time, and then slowly everything faded. When Oliver woke up, the world looked the same. His room, his bookshelf, the soft morning light. But he was not the same. He felt stronger, not in his body, but in his heart. He walked to his bookshelf and touched the spines of his books. They no longer felt like objects. They felt like friends, like guides, like doors. Oliver understood something now. Stories were not magic because they changed the world. They were magic because they changed people. They changed how people saw themselves. They changed how people believed. From that day on, Oliver continued reading. He continued learning. He continued growing. Not fast, not perfectly, but honestly. Every word he learned gave him more confidence. Every story he read gave him more courage. And every mistake became a step forward. Oliver no longer feared the future, because he understood that the future was not a place, it was a story. And he was writing it, one word at a time, one page at a time, one day at a time. Stories were doors, and Oliver had learned how to open them. And once a door like that opens, it never truly closes.